Alright, welcome to another top 10, and this one is the mini bosses one, as you can see there. This is a list of my favorite mini bosses. These are bosses that usually appear somewhere in the middle of a level. Okay, so Kingdom Hearts and mini bosses aren't really clearly defined. Some of them are very clear and obvious that they're mini bosses. Or mid-stage bosses, I guess you could say. Like the pot centipede, that's very clearly a mini boss to me. This was a tad bit annoying trying to kill it, but overall it was a decent fight. You find it near the palace doors in Agrabah. It's in the middle of the level before you go and face something else that's down further on this list. The fight I'd say is on the easier side, but hey, at least its design is somewhat cool, you know, if you're not afraid of insects. Number 9, the Threshold and Possessor from Kingdom Hearts 2. Okay, so this one literally just came out of nowhere in Beast Castle. Like, I remember, it's just like, boom, there, boss, bam! Because it's when you have to move the pink wardrobe while it's sleeping, and when it wakes up, you gotta stop moving her. And then on the other side of the door, bang, you run and possess the threshold. It's really easy, but I found a mini boss. Well, I mean, I'd say this one was a little harder than Pot Centipede, only on critical. But that's because you really don't have the health to tank hits or cure yet. Which is true, on critical mode, he's a pain. On any other mode, I feel like he'd be easier. But on critical mode, he's a pain because you just don't have the health to tank hits. And you don't have cure yet, which is a pain regardless. Number 8 is probably the most controversial one on this list, I believe, is Darkside, because he's a boss and a mini boss. Like, it's true, he really is a boss and a mini boss all at the same time. He's the most overused boss in Kingdom Hearts history. You first fight him in the Dive of the Heart. It's literally the first boss you fight. Then as Destiny Islands is destroyed, you fight him again. And again, at the end of the game, between Ansem fights, you literally fight him 3 times in Kingdom Hearts 1. And 2 of them are like within an hour of each other, depending on how much you go through the tutorial, the Destiny Islands tutorial. It could be 2 hours, but most often than not, it's probably just an hour. And that's not the only times you fight him though. You also fight him in the Destiny Islands and Chain of Memories, the Destiny Island memory world. He's the boss of that several times in Point 2, which is really annoying. But he does have one really amazing boss fight in 0.2, which is probably also what I think his hardest boss fight is. He's encoded. I don't really remember that one, or the one in Days. But I just know a lot of people have issues with Darkside encoded, because I see many people on here saying Darkside was like the bane of their existence encoded. Overall, he's decent, not all that hard, just used a lot. Oh yeah, he's also a raid boss in Unchained X. I mean, he's like the first one too. And what is it? To me, the hardest version and probably the funniest, I meant funnest, but whatever, version is his actual boss fight in 0.2. And it's the last one too. It's the Thorn World version, or boss. That Darkside's probably my favorite. Not the one in the picture though. Not that one. The Thorn World in Point 2. But because he's so overused, I just see him as a mini boss now. Like, no matter what, regardless of whether he's a boss or not, I just see him as a mini boss. Except for that one I like the best. That one I can literally concede as a legit boss fight. Number 7, Lock, Shock, and Barrel. Both Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2. These guys can always be a bit of a pain, but not because they're hard. Yet something about it is just kind of fun. You fight them in a small room in the first game and in a toy factory in the second one. In Halloween Town and Christmas Town. Overall, neither fight is all that hard, just a pain chasing them down before they wake back up. And I don't know if they wake up again in the first game. I can't remember, but I know they do in Kingdom Hearts 2. If you leave them sitting there long enough, they will get back up. If you haven't wrapped them in a present yet. And number 6 is Prison Keeper from Kingdom Hearts 2. This fight is pretty fun considering it's on that famous hill in Halloween Town. The fight overall isn't very hard, it's just really fun. Plus his design is cool. And I also remember that he has some kind of reaction command where he tries to eat the kids and you prevent. Why am I yawning? But yeah, he tries to eat Lock, Shock, and Barrel and you have to prevent him. I remember that, and he's also got the fireballs that you can block back. I just feel like he's a very fun fight. He's not hard at all, but he's just fun to fight. Number 5 is the other trio, Shinzi, Banza, and Ed from Kingdom Hearts 2 at the Pride Lands. Okay, so normally I'm not a fan of the whole chase around boss, but this one was done right, I feel like, anyway. Then you fight them later before the Scar boss fight, which is pretty annoying to a degree, just because you have to protect Timon and Pumbaa, and if they die or get knocked out or whatever it is, they get frightened or panicked or whatever, then you have to redo the fight. Like if Timon and Pumbaa, if their bar or whatever fills all the way up, you have to redo the fight, which is probably the most annoying thing about it. Overall, this fight is tougher than the Lock, Shock, and Barrel ones, but not by too much. Which is true. It's tougher than both versions, I believe, but not by all that much. I mean, them specifically, not by all that much. Honestly, the only thing that gives them a edge in difficulty in general is the whole the Timon and Pumbaa factor. Number 4 is Leon from Kingdom Hearts. The first mini-boss ever in the game is against Leon, Squall Leon from Final Fantasy VIII at Traverse Town. The best part is you don't even need to win to progress. Winning, though, is a bonus and a confidence booster. He's tough for early game, but as long as you avoid his blast and take advantage of his slow movements, you should do fine, which is true. I mean, his blast and his attacks hurt. Like, he's a heavy hitter. But he moves so slow, he just walks. And you can roll out of the way of his blast or move to where his blast hit a wall or whatever. But yeah, just don't get caught in a combo or get hit by too many balls. And make sure you have some potions just in case you do get caught. But yeah, just take advantage of his slowness and you should be good, really. Number 3, Anti-Sora, Kingdom Hearts. This fight is just fun and great, and you find it near the end of Neverland. Then again, I always find Shadow bosses cool, i.e. Shadow Link from Ocarina of Time. He's pretty tough and annoying. He always goes under the ground and does that annoying attack. I believe yeah, he goes under the ground, and I forget. It's one of two things. He either like does like when he comes up underneath you and attacks you, and then I think he splices into like many versions of him, and they all go back under. Oh no, he splices into many versions, and then they all go down and re-emerge, and then they spike up on you. Yeah, I remember that. That's annoying because once he gets like low in health, he just really loves that one move, and it gets really annoying. Number 2 is the Cave of Wonders Guardian, Kingdom Hearts. This is the one I was referring to earlier when talking about the centipede. You literally fight the centipede, go to the middle section in the desert where you get the save point, and then you go and fight the Cave of Wonders Guardian. It's like mini boss after mini boss, and this one is much better because it's also much more difficult. In order to enter the cave in the deserts of Agrabah, you must beat it. To some, it might not be the most fun mini-boss, but I really love it. It's probably the most difficult mini-boss in the game, mainly because the bandits getting in the way. Like, they do that freaking circle jump thing where they hit you and that does damage galore. It's annoying. It's annoying as hell. Oh my goodness. Like, honestly, I think these two are probably the most difficult mini-boss you run into. Like, just like, pure story. I died so many times to the Cave of Wonders. I don't think I died to Anti-Sora, but I died so many times to Anti-Sora, not Anti-Sora, but to the Cave of Wonders. Because of those stupid bandits doing the freaking spin lunge thing. And always catching me while my camera's like messed up because I'm locked on the eye and I'm on the ground. Oh. This fight was just panic inducing. It was frustrating, but I enjoy it because it was difficult. And fun. I was proud to beat it. Yeah. Take that pun. No. Get out of here. Alright, number 1 is Behemoth from Kingdom Hearts. You find this boss right in between Hollow Bastion and the End of the World. The mini-boss is reused in the End of the World as well several times, but he's still an intimidating foe, a giant behemoth for sure. Okay, at the end, the first time you encounter him, he's a boss. To me, after that, he's a mini-boss. He's also in Kingdom Hearts Unchained X. He's one of the raid bosses as well. But the thing I'm thinking of is the first time you encounter him, when you unlock the keyhole in Hollow Bastion, you go in, you fight him. I feel like he's a legit boss then, I want to say. But when you go to the End of the World, he's one of the first things you encounter in the maze. And that version is a mini-boss to me. Anytime you run into a boss in a tournament that isn't the final seed, I think of them as a mini-boss. So that could be a lot of bosses, really. But, yeah, I mean, that was my top 10 mini-bosses. These are my favorite mini-bosses. The only one I can think of as an honorable mention is Beast from Beast Castle. I mean, come on. What is it? May the Christ compel you? It's something compel you. I forget. Oh, what is it? Oh, it's something compel you. I can't remember. May the light compel you? No, that's not it. I forget. But whatever. Ta-ta for now.